Hello, and again, welcome to Our Texas Magazine, the podcast. We're here with a person who's really tried his best to just kind of live life to the fullest and figured, hey, there's no challenge I can't overcome. His name is Eddie Ray Watson, and he lives in Marshall, Texas. Hi, Guy.
How you doing?
Well, I'm okay. It's been a while since we chatted, and certainly with folks that we've come to know, they've all been saying, "Hey, when you gonna get over there and talk to Eddie?" So here we are.
Okay.
And really, it's a thrill because of some of the things you've been talking about. Now, just a couple of things. You've talked about your life as a coach. You've talked about your life as an athlete, and as an artist. So. There may be some other things that we can talk about, but I'd like to pick up on, before we go to the art, because it's really a significant part of your life. What was the earlier times that you began being involved in athletics that got you perhaps interested in coaching?
Well, I was in very young.
Okay.
In my elementary school, there was no men.
Uh-huh.
There was one male on the campus.
Wow.
And but the community of Marshall, the city, each school would play against each other in different sports, and they needed someone to coach it.
Uh-huh.
I raised my hand.
Wow.
So I was in the 5th grade, and
adults trusted you then?
yes, sir. Yeah, but he gave me the rules,
Okay.
and he told me that at that time, in the young age, he told everybody had to play.
Okay.
And that was the whole thing of learning how to coach. You had to let everybody play, and you, as a winner, you want to win. So I had to be able to manage to get all the guys in, because when he came back to pick us up after the game, the first thing he wanted to know is, did everybody play? And if everybody played, then he was happy and he was, satisfied with the way things was going.
Okay.
And that's how I started off.
Okay.
I had to learn how to manage, players and people and stuff.
Well, that's like 11 years old, man.
Yes. And I enjoyed it, and I got a rush off of it, and I kept on going. And so when I
High school.
I played football. Matter of fact, I was very fortunate. I was one of the few that ever had a chance to play varsity football in the 9th grade.
In the 9th grade?
Yes, sir.
Man.
So I played varsity ball in the 9th grade.
Here in Marshall?
In Marshall. And I played baseball. And I had some super coaches. And that's where I patterned myself after those guys.
Okay.
And being here in Marshall and stuff, like I was telling you earlier, you around Wiley College and Bishop College. So I had an opportunity to go to see the likes of Pop Long.
Wow, Pop Long.
Pop Long that coached at Wiley. Well, we got a chance to see him every day, and his mannerism, how he coached and how he carried his guys and how he did stuff. So that was just where we just fed off of that.
Now, that was what decade?
Well, we are talking about in the 60s.
In the 60s, okay.
Okay, yeah.
All right. And then you went on to Wiley.
No, that was my biggest hurt. They didn't recruit me because I used to be there all the time watching and being around, so they just knew that I was gonna come across.
And, I see. They just kind of figured you'd come.
I'll just come across, and I didn't. Plus, I didn't come because they didn't recruit me like they did others.
So where'd you go?
I went to UAPB,
Okay.
at that time Arkansas A&M.
Yeah.
I had a chance to go to Grambling, but they said I was too little to play football on their team.
What was too little?
Small. I mean, like right now, it's exciting to see some of the kids playing. Like the young man that's got drafted.
Oh, yeah, that Murray fella.
Out, yeah.
He's like 5'9" or
5'10", yeah.
Okay.
But they said I was too little.
And you were 6 something?
I was 5'11".
Okay, 5'11".
But that was not,
Okay.
because of the guys and the size and the speed and stuff. So they didn't get, that's what I'm excited about, just to see what Murray gonna do this year.
Okay. So you went to UAPB,
Right?
and finished up playing ball there.
Yeah, I played football and baseball, and I was fortunate and get a chance to do both. that was my whole objective. I turned down Prairie View, Texas Southern, and Graham. All those guys, all of them wanted me to just play one sport. But growing up, I had played two sports all through my career.
This is before Bo. What's his name? Bo.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm way before
Bo Jackson. And,
oh yeah.
And Deion Sanders and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Who did you see at the time playing two sports?
At that time, I was talking about people like Jim Brown. You know, those kind of guys.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
Jackie Robinson played two sports.
Oh, yeah.
So those was my people that I looked up to.
Okay.
And I figured if he could do it, I know I can do it. You know, and that was my attitude.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And then when you left UAPB, is that when you started coaching more?
No, I was involved with the. I was involved with the draft dodgers. I was yes. I didn't. I wouldn't go to Vietnam.
Okay.
I just couldn't see myself going to shooting somebody I didn't know anything about. So they gave me a hard time, and I was not as big a star at that time as Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
So I didn't get that kind of recognition. But that's how
So you wound up in Canada.
I was with the Ottawa Rough Riders.
That's the professional league,
Right?
Okay.
But they offered to keep me, but I would have to change my citizenship, and I ain't never wanted to go. No, I have a thing about the country at times,
Sure.
but I still love the United States
Yeah,
and all of that.
Yeah. So how long did you play? What did you like about playing in the league, in the Canadian League?
It was wide open. You know, the fields was wider and things like that, and it was exciting. It was different. Yeah, but once they gave me an ultimatum, I had to come back home, come back to the States.
The government?
The government. I was going to be. So that was when I came back. And then I was on a house arrest for a while.
No kidding.
Yeah, they kept me on.
Wait a minute. How did you get to this house arrest kind of thing? You know.
Well, because I was over there in Canada playing ball, and they didn't feel good about it. You know. So when I got back, they put me on this porch, and that's how I got my first job. I got my first teaching and coaching job from Kansas City, Kansas. I read my resume off on the telephone to the superintendent, and he said, "You shouldn't be sitting on no porch," you know.
Okay, just help me out. When you crossed the border, that's when they said, "Hey, you're in custody and something."
They told me to come back. I went back, and I got home, and they came back to Marshall.
Okay.
And then I had to go through a series of physicals and all this kind of stuff. And the only thing that they could keep me out of the army was I had a bad knee.
Oh.
And so that was my rap then in the NFL. So wherever I go, then I would, and I had the likes of friends and stuff, people that I played against, I played with, and like LC Greenwood. Yeah. Played
Pittsburgh,
against Steelers and people like Otis Taylor. You know, he played at Prairie View. So those guys, I played against them all them years and stuff. Especially Otis. He was a senior and I was a freshman in college, and I held him down, and that was a good thought for him.
Okay.
So that's how I ended up in Kansas City with the world's football outside of Kansas City.
Okay, so you left the Canadian League,
came home,
and then played in the.
Then I went to here. From here, I went to Kansas City.
Okay, for the NFL.
Right.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, but they wouldn't. They found out who I was, and when they call your whole name, you're done. So when they said Eddie Ray Watson, will you come to the office? I knew then that they had pulled my file. So,
who had?
The NFL. So they was not gonna go against the government.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so but all the guys and stuff like Otis and Gloucester Richards and all those guys, Emmett Thomas.